Okay, we again start with some kind of short meditation. It's good to start like this, to come down to the ground and become heavy, yeah, somehow be to have the capacity to create a lot of energy without falling down. We put the left foot first to the perineum, the right foot in front, then close the left fist with the thumb inside, hold the wrist with the right hand. It's quite common to start in such a way. This pressure of the hand, it will enhance the left svara and activate the right side by creating pressure on the left. Even the left heel, which creates pressure to the perineum, is doing the same. So by activating the left side, we are enhancing the energy flow in the right side. We put both hands to the small of the back and then slowly bend forward and put the forehead on the ground. Yeah, it's maybe easiest to close the eyes and just stay like this for a short time. Now sitting like this, inhale very deeply and do Mula Bandha. Then inhale one more time, do kumbhaka, hold the breath, and now press the left wrist with the right hand as strongly as possible. Then inhale one more time and do Mula Bandha again. And inhale one more time and press the wrist one more time. Then come up, the hands still in the back. We inhale by nose, do 5 times Bhastrika, inhale deeply again, hold the breath, push the head far back and the abdominal wall forward, then remaining a little bit, exhale and relax. Yeah, I forgot to say that now there is a camera here. The people on this side, they might be visible. After in the film, I am very strongly connected to Mark Zuckerberg, CIA and Google, and of course we will make like a store for all these photos and use the photos for any kind of bullshit. No, I want to say that if somebody is afraid to be visible on this film, then of course you must change place and go to the other side. There are people, they are very scared when it's about taking their picture because of rights and so on. Me, basically, I don't give a shit, as we would say. It's pictures are pictures. There exist a lot of pictures, of course, nowadays, and it's strange. The more pictures are spreading in Facebook, Instagram, and so on, the more people start to make a big. They shout about rights and are afraid that somebody will see their faces and so on. I had this during one class. Everybody was in Shavasana after the class, and one man, he took a panorama picture of the class. You could not recognize any single person which was laying in my yoga shala. Only me, who was in the kitchen. The kitchen is open kitchen. I was the only person recognizable, but one woman who is always on Facebook, she started to make a big thing, and then I said, no, you cannot see no, you cannot see anybody. I like the picture. It's just like a picture of a class, and I wanted to keep it on Facebook, and then she had it removed by Facebook, which of course was annoying a little bit. I think those people who are afraid to show their face, they should not be on Facebook at all, of course, as this is a book for people who are not afraid to show their face, I believe. Yeah, I know that they make a lot of bad things with our data and so on, but still, if we are afraid of this, we should not visit such public places, of course. And even anywhere else in the world, everybody is having a mobile phone, taking pictures, so you are on one picture or the other, you must certainly appear. I think yeah, we should not be afraid. It might be on YouTube, maybe you will even become famous when you are visible. Okay, we still sit in the same way. Inhale very deeply one more time. Do Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and start to press the left wrist one more time. Then again inhale, 5 times Spastika, inhale, head back, abdomen forward. Yeah, it's we all know, or we know from Bible and such books, that God sees and hears everything. So maybe now in the modern time we approach this situation more and more, also in the outside world, that they are able to construct things, any kind of walls which can see or which can make films, and any kind of detecting devices who are installed in anywhere, in any place. So I think it should remind people that you should always behave in a way that is decent enough to stand for it somehow, and not to be afraid that people would see you in situations which are humiliating or bad. Of course, on a toilet this is a different thing, but this is what everybody does, and it's not humiliating at all. But nowadays people, they, of course, the more they have possibility to watch what they want and to do what they want, they are also more afraid that other people can see what they do. We take now the hands forward, and still with the left hand closed, we hold the wrist in front and put the left fist on the ground in front of us. Then one more time, inhale very deeply, hold the breath, do Mula Bandha and squeeze the left wrist with the right hand as much as you can. Yeah, for God, no privacy. Of course, this energy is always inside of us and follows us with every breath that we take through our entire life. There is nothing to hide in front of God. This is maybe the difference between a criminal and a yogi, that the criminal believes that he can do things which nobody can see and nothing can see, and the yogi knows that everything we do can be seen. It's always seen by ourselves. Witness is always with us. We inhale again, do 5 times Bhastrika by mouth. Inhale by mouth, hold the breath again, push the head back and the abdomen forward. Yeah, for people who were not here last week, Bhastrika, it can be done in different ways. It begins with breathing through both nostrils, always beginning after inhalation. You inhale first and then exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale is one cycle. It can be done alternating the nostrils, what some people call Kapalabhati, and make a difference between Bhastrika and Kapalabhati, which doesn't exist. The Bhastrika means bellows, the instrument to produce the wind, to produce fire, and Kapalabhati is the effect of the instrument. It means light which starts to glow in the head, which start to appear. Yeah, like the Pratipika, which is a light. Kapalabhati, it's the flame which starts to burn inside of the skull, the result of Bhastrika practice. It can be done by mouth also, opening the mouth, round hole, and pumping the air out and in. We inhale one more time, hold the breath, do Mula Bandha again, and squeeze the left wrist one more time. Most names for new yoga styles have been taken from the Hatha Yoga Pratipika, and they made the mistake somehow to make this distinction between Bhastrika and Kapalabhati. In the Hatha Pratipika, Swatmarama, he writes that breathing like a bellows, doing Bhastrika is Kapalabhati, is giving this light in the head. Then all the other names like Hatha, Raja Yoga, Ashtanga, Kundalini Yoga, Jivan Mukti and so on, this is all written in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And many people, they took any of these names and made a style out after their own liking, somehow changing the yoga. But basically all these names design the same one and the same thing, be it Kundalini or Hatha, it's absolutely the same. It's always about Kundalini. We inhale again, do 6 times Bhastrika by mouth, inhale by mouth again, push the head back, abdomen forward. Now hold the left wrist with the right hand from below and the right wrist with the left hand from above. Hold tightly around the 2 wrists, 2 marmas that we are now holding. We inhale one more time, do Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and press both wrists with the hands as much as we can. Then inhale one more time, do 6 times Bhastrika by mouth, inhale by mouth again, push the head back, the abdomen forward. Yeah, I always talk about this phenomenon. So many people do spiritual practice nowadays, and many people don't feel very strong effects while they do the practice. They think it's quite something normal. But everybody who is doing such a thing, even if it is very mild and maybe even wrong, it will produce a certain effect inside, storing certain energies, and these energies might come up when you start to dig for them somehow. This is what happens with such kind of practice, of course. People start to have a strong experience sometimes. So whatever you do, do it very carefully and believe that there is power in many things, even if they appear weak or normal. Yeah, somehow normal is a good word. Spiritual practice always wants people to discover the not normal aspects of life, that this is like a miracle, something extraordinary. We are taking part in something which cannot be described by words. And sometimes it needs very little, of course, to make the energy come up. People get crazy. I just heard yesterday from an old friend of mine, a Canadian girl, who lived in Switzerland, that she became schizophrenic. She took a lot of LSD and did a lot of things, then became a Hare Krishna and so on, and suddenly she was diagnosed as a schizophrenic, freaking out completely. It's a pity. Yeah, you must find the balance inside of yourself. A group of people cannot help you, or sometimes even encourages you to follow them in a very uncontrolled way. We still hold on the wrist and go forward, putting the elbows and hands on the ground. Then raise your head, look straight forward. This pose has some resemblance to Kokilasana, the cuckoo pose. Kokilasana done in Padmasana. Needs more effort, but this one has similar effects, creating power from the center of your body, from the Manipura. Try to focus your eyes straight forward without blinking. Now inhale very deeply and do Mula Bandha. Then come up again. Still holding on the wrist, we inhale one more time by nose, do 9 times, Bhastrika by mouth, inhale by mouth, push the head back one more time, abdomen forward. Open and put the right foot in the place of the left. You see, if you need stability, it can only come from the Muladhara. The Muladhara is the earth, the ground, and Ganesh, this power which can bestow stability to people. This works in a strange way by always like pulling the ground under people's feet. You become stabilized. The Muladhara, quite a tricky place according to my own experience, that you will always be put in situations where you are about to lose the balance, and by overcoming such feelings you create more and more stability, like on a surfboard. And yeah, it's exactly the same. In this world nothing really safe. Yeah, we are living in a world full of dangers and mysteries, and of course many people have fear of this. They cling to the mass because they think this is like some kind of safety, but in reality the real safety, it can only come from inside of you. We close the right fist with the thumb inside, hold the right wrist with the left hand, put both hands again to the small of the back, and then place the forehead on the ground. Without taking care about the Muladhara, as it is written in the Shastra, it is very dangerous to practice deep meditation and such things, because you will not have a really solid foundation, no roots. I don't know how it is, what level you can reach with Zen meditation or Vipassana. I believe it can also become very strong if you really sit for a long time. But according to yoga, it's a very dangerous attempt, because before you try to sit long stretches and concentrate the mind, you should plant the roots firmly in the ground. I always say that those people who experience the power of Hatha, of real Hatha Yoga, they will believe what I say. When yogis talk about meditation, they mean a very powerful event which can only happen if you are completely grounded. We again inhale very deeply and do Mula Bandha. And then inhale again, do Kumbhaka and squeeze the right wrist with the left hand. Then inhale one more time, do Mula Bandha. Inhale one more time and squeeze the wrist. Then come up. We inhale again, do 5 times Bhastrika by nose, inhale by nose, push the head back and the abdominal wall forward. Then sitting upright, inhale very deeply and do Mula Bandha. Then inhale again, do Kumbhaka and squeeze the right wrist with the left hand. Now inhale again, do 5 times Bhastrika by mouth, inhale by mouth, push the head back and the abdomen forward. Then keep the right fist closed and hold the wrist in front of you, placing the right fist on the ground. This, of course, you can do anyhow you like. You must find ways to do certain things in the way which feels best for you. The wrist, very sensitive part of the body, and by squeezing it you activate a nerve which is connected to the breathing process in the chest, and by squeezing now on the right side we are enhancing the energy flow on the left, creating more prana flow in the left side of the body. Yeah, the secret of Swara, it's not even known to most people. They think you are always breathing through both nostrils equally, but the organism, the medicine could investigate this closely. The breath is always changing. If you would not move, if you would sit like this, it would change exactly after 1 hour from one side to the other. One nostril opens a little bit more, then after 1 hour the other, and so on. This change is very essential, of course, because we have two sides of the body and we have two hemispheres of the brain which must be fed with energy. All this will be a little bit explained in the book for those who don't have the German book yet, who will have the English book. About Swara you cannot say very much, because all you have to know is about this change and about the frequency of changing. The more often the better for the body. This is what we do in yoga by turning left and right and using left side, right side. We are always changing the Swara from one side to the other. The body will find a better balance inside, and the vayus will be more balanced inside. A perfect blend of balance inside, a perfect blend of vayus will create this state of Kevala Kumbhaka, where you don't even need to breathe anymore. We inhale again, do Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and squeeze the right wrist as much as we can. Then inhale again 6 times, Bhastika by mouth, inhale by mouth, push the head back like before. Now, holding the right wrist, you hold the left with the right hand. Also, we might use this grip during some Achagri practice. It's very good. We again inhale very deeply, do Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and squeeze both wrists as much as we can. Inhale again, do 6 times Bastika by mouth, one more time, push the head back, abdomen forward. Now bend forward, put the arms on the ground, elbows firmly on the ground. In this pose, of course, most people just immediately relax the head. In any pose that we do, Kurmasana, Mandukasana, many people always relax the head. From the beginning, you should get used to always look straight forward from the beginning. Always keep the head raised. This pressure in the neck, it's very fundamental for practice. It's activating one very important nervous knot in the neck, a marma, which has a strong effect on the cerebellum, on the back part of the brain. And then from there start to activate the hypothalamus in the center of your head, activates the vagus nerve and starts this process of exchange between abdomen and head. The neck, a very strong part of controlling the energies, creating them, enhancing them and controlling them. We inhale very deeply, do Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and squeeze both wrists again as much as we can. Come up again, the hands still around the wrist. We inhale again, do 9 times Bastika by mouth, inhale by mouth, same procedure. Yeah, even though some people have crippled bodies and could not do Hatha Yoga properly, which is karmic problem, I believe. I strongly believe in karma. I always say I believe nature is very just and it always tries to create a perfect balance. If there was no reincarnation and such things, if this cycle would not work in this way, everything would be very unjust, of course. And those people who have a crippled body, for instance, they would be really poor guys who were punished for no reason. I strongly believe everything has a reason, and when we do yoga, we hear the yogis say that without a healthy body, the real enlightenment is not possible, which a state of samadhi, which includes physical level and all other levels of ourselves. So I don't know now in this incarnation how it is to have a crippled body. Maybe I had before. Basically, I even experience my healthy body or my healthy state of being sometimes as very crippled when I look back to the past. By limiting myself with all kind of bad habits, I started to work in a quite crippled way. So yoga would want you to explore the full depth, of course, of the physical aspect of life also, and the connection of all these things to the physical body. We go on the we lay down on the stomach, on the chest. You see, even though we experience life sometimes as very long, and especially when we suffer, we experience it in a very long-lasting way. It's in reality very short. Every existence, be it a human or animal existence, it will pass quite quickly. Those who are older know it already. The younger people don't know it so much yet. Animals who have not the same consciousness, who have no feeling of time, they just exist and then die. And I believe an animal life is very short. When you have a dog and you see how quickly a dog's life is passing, and so on. So all these these repetitions of different forms of being, it's something that everybody has to undergo. We cannot escape, not even by killing ourselves. It's like a punishment sometimes like a blessing. We put the feet completely straight, the heels together, the big toes together, try to put them precisely together, and then push the chest up and fold your arms on the ground. Look straight forward again. If somebody can succeed in cleaning the big pile of bad karma out of his life, when you start to experience what I would call instant karma, that you make something and immediately experience the effect of it in the same day or in the same week. And when you are able to, of course, to understand the connection between an event and the effect of this event, this, I think, the best teaching, and then the beginning of understanding about all these things about karma. We inhale now very deeply, do Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha. All the holy scriptures of the world, they say the same. You should not hurt others, you should not kill, you should treat yourself good and treat others like yourself and so on. But most people don't understand this, and especially Christians and Muslims nowadays, they act not according to their scriptures, fighting wars everywhere and destroying. They will all suffer from their doing. Somehow they are in the karmic chain without understanding their own words of God, as they call it. Nature basically is cruel and kills, but as soon as you are a human being, you should have a consciousness which shows you that killing will lead to other killings, and finally those who kill will be killed themselves, like animals, tigers, who will be killed by other tigers when they get old. We inhale one more time and do Mula Bandha. Now inhale again very deeply, hold the breath and push the head up as much as you can. Then push the body up come up on the knees. Just shortly, you don't need to put any soft thing under the knees. We inhale very deeply and do one Achagari. In this kind of weather, when the rain starts, be careful that you don't catch a cold. Now it's humid and hot in spite of the clouds, but when it rains, when you are on the bike, it can become very cold, and people they could fall, they could catch a cold. This happened one time in Phangan when we were here, and then like a flu started to spread. We inhale one more time, do Achagari. And one more time. Then lay down on the ground again. Raise your feet in the back, the knees maybe shoulder wide apart, and hold tightly on the span of the feet with your hands. Now first inhale very deeply to kumbhaka and pull both heels strongly on the buttocks. Still trying to hold the heels on the buttocks, we inhale very deeply and do Mula Bandha. And now, breathing normally, raise your head as much as you can. Then relax again. Now hold on the ankles. With your hands we do a pose. It's called Ustrasana, the camel pose. Hold tightly on the ankles, and we do it with kumbhaka. Inhale as deeply as possible, hold the breath, then pull the trunk and the legs up on both sides, raising the head as much as you can. Ustrasana is one of the 4 novel exercises which adjust and strengthen the Nabi chakra very much. Very good for the entire body, of course, activating all the important marmas, glands and so on. We inhale one more time and pull trunk and legs up. Then come up again, the knees shoulder wide apart. We inhale by nose and do a chagari again. Put the left arm straight forward. Inhale again and a chagari one more time. And the same with the right arm up. Place the fingertips nicely together in front of you. We inhale with Kaki Mudra and do one more Achagari. Keeping the fingertips precisely together, we inhale very deeply, hold the breath and press all fingertips together as much as we can. Then open the hands, turned up. We inhale again with Kaki Mudra, do one more Achagari. Then lay down on the ground again. Now place the palms under the shoulders. Put the chin on the ground, look straight forward. I remember in one seminar there was a whole army of termites approaching, walking, and when we were doing the practice we could see how they organized each other. Some smaller ones, a lot of smaller ones which were marching in one row, and some bigger ones who were standing about 1 meter apart from each other and directing the smaller ones in the different directions. Very interesting how they organize themselves and invade like armies. Of course here not very good, because the platform would be destroyed very quickly. When Julian lived here, he said they eat his Apple computer and everything. They eat plastic, metal, even light metal and wood, of course, leather, whatever they can get, they eat. We straighten the legs completely and keeping the chin firmly on the ground, raise your legs in the back, keep them completely straight. Raise them only slightly, about 1 foot from the ground. Then put them down again. And now push your trunk up. Make sure that the genitals remain on the ground, firmly even press the genitals to the ground in such poses. Cobra poses, we push up more, push the head back and try to flex the spine as much as we can. Then come down again to relax. Cobra Bhujangasana, very good pose because it has a very strong effect on all the glands in the body, especially on the adrenal gland in the back, which is harmonizing the glands of the head and the sexual glands, shedding all the hormones which our body can produce. To make the adrenal gland function properly is one of the aims of Hatha Yoga, because of cortisone and such liquid. It's called adrenal gland because of adrenaline, but it's also strong production of cortisone in this gland. Yeah, in the morning I said that martial arts, it can also develop people's mind, of course, by creating a certain attention and meditative stage, but like Bruce Lee, very good example. He damaged his spine very strongly with martial art, and then he started to use cortisone. He was injecting cortisone, and this was probably the reason why he died. Cortisone should not be taken neither in pills, not by injection or any other ways, by creams or such. It will always disturb the glandular system very strongly and affect the heart and such parts. Cortisone should be produced in sufficient amounts by the body itself. Those people who need to take cortisone, they should do it only for short stretches, otherwise they risk to destroy themselves, die of heart failure or whatever. Of course, cortisone can work miracles. In Bruce Lee's case, he could have been like a cripple, had a very strong damage of the spine, and with the help of cortisone, the body seemed to build up very quickly. Cortisone is a so-called steroid, what the bodybuilders use to escape painful states of muscles and bones. They use these steroid hormones to build up muscles and to defeat certain negative symptoms. It's very unhealthy. We push the trunk up again, push the head back again, press the genitals down again. Then come down one more time. You see, when I explain such things, I might make slight mistakes because I'm not a scientist and not a doctor. But basically, I'm sure you understand what I want to talk about. If you want to know more about steroids and about cortisone and adrenal gland and vagus nerve and so on, you are free, of course, to read in anatomic books. There are many sources. It's useful to understand a little bit and to know where yoga wants to create a strong balance inside the body to prevent certain negative things, of course, to not to weaken the heart but to strengthen it. We push the body up one more time. Then come up on the knees. The knees together this time. Yeah, like we have doctors here, and Miro is very strict. When I make mistakes, he remind me. You see, as I said in the last week, I believe that our body could produce all these liquids in the best quantities and balanced. The art is how to achieve this, of course, and those people who try and who achieve at least a certain equilibrium, they will see that good health is coming from this balance inside. Just like the yogis say, the glands, they can not only affect your physical body, they affect your life. What we experience as life, this interaction from the outside energy with our body is strongly produced by the glands also. How our senses work and how we perceive things. We inhale very deeply again to Acchagari. Raise the left arm on the left, sideways. Inhale one more time and Achagari. And again with the right arm up. I remember when I was a small boy, it was more rare that somebody really fat appeared on scene. Now, today it's quite common that all these obese people appear everywhere in the world. When I was a small boy, they used to say they have a problem with the glands, that's why they are so fat, which I believe is true. But I also believe that many of these people, they just were eating much too much, growing fatter, and then from a certain degree of fatness, the glands start to work havoc inside the body, the balance gets lost, and they start to produce or work in a way that instead of keeping the body in a good shape, they start to produce fat and other such things. So I believe many of these symptoms which we see today in the outside world, they could be only fought by giving control to the people over their food habits and also of what they eat. It's said that most people who are so fat are living amongst the poor, those people who should be skinny, like they used to be skinny in the past in India and everywhere. People who didn't have enough food, but nowadays they eat all this junk food and the body starts to react in this negative way. In India, very obvious now when you are, especially in the cities, you see so many fat people already, and they become like Western people, yeah. We put the arms down, inhale one more time with Kaki Mudra and do Achagari. Of course, the vegan movement is quite like the opposite of this hamburger culture of the other half of the people, or more than half of the people. But yoga is neither vegan nor hamburger. It's based on milk products and such food, butter, milk. In Thailand, they have very good milk. This Meiji, very good taste. I don't know where they get it from. From Thailand, I think, maybe from New Zealand. The butter is from New Zealand. Mozzarella also. They have a very good mozzarella in Macro. I love it. Yeah. We go down one more time. The abdomen. Now put the right foot over the left, crossing the ankles of both legs. Place the hands at the side on the ground. We do a variation of Shalabhasana, the cricket pose, locust pose. Very good pose also. It's strongly activating the nerves around the pelvic bone, and therefore, of course, used to activate certain nadis which are connected to the sexual power. It's said about Shalabhasana that by doing it in different ways, which are possible, that you start to have the ability to sublimate sexual energies inside of your body and create faculties which make you jump in life like a cricket, to make big jumps. We firmly hold the feet together like this, hooked, and now raise the straight legs and the trunk and only balance on the palms and on the pelvic bone. Yeah, it has something cricket-like, the long body, the legs which are ready to jump. Then come down again. Now change the position of the feet. We try to do the same, raise the straight legs and the trunk. Now put the feet on the ground beside each other, not crossed anymore. It looks like this. You put the thumbs together at the navel and the other fingers pointing down to the genitals, like a triangle, like a Kaliyantra, pointing to the genitals. Put the hands like this under your belly. The fingers touch the pubic bone, the thumbs at the navel. This is another way of doing Shalabhasana. It's good for the hands also. You keep the hands in this way, and now we use Kumbhaka. We inhale very deeply, hold the breath, raise the straight legs and the trunk on both sides as much as we can. And one more time. Then come up and we stand up. Concentrate yourself on the feet. To me it's hot, hotter than yesterday somehow. I sweat more. Maybe it's from the limelight, from the camera. First, inhale 5 times Bhastrika, inhale very deeply, and Mula Bandha. And Achagari again. Now, standing on the left foot, take your right foot up high and put it like in the half lotus seat to the left groin. Hold it as nicely as possible in this position so that it cannot slide down, and put your hands together in front of your chest. I remember on my first trip to India in 1971, I was in Varanasi and there was a sadhu standing at the Ganga on one of the ghats, and obviously for quite a long time he was standing in this pose on one leg with the foot like this, and he had one fist closed, the other was somehow like in this half Anjali Mudra on the chest, and his fingernails were pushing to the back of his hands. They have been growing through the hand. It was quite a freaky view for me, of course. I was very impressed. I didn't know why they do such things, and only later started to read about them. Sadhus, they are, how we say, they repent. They are people who repent in this incarnation as a sadhu. The ashes which they put on the body is a symbol of repentance. Bereuen. They were maybe heavy sinners and now on the way to Shambhala by going to this incarnation of sadhu, purifying their old karma by heavy penance. They do it by their free will somehow, which is of course not the same. They punish themselves. Now inhale very deeply and try to do Mula Bandha. Then put the right foot down. And we try to do the same with the left side. Pull it up nicely and place it to the right leg, of course, as nicely as possible so that it will not slide down anymore. Hindu mythology is full of stories of ascetic living yogis or sadhus who, by doing this penance, obtained very strong supernatural powers. It's said that Shiva, as the lord of all these powers, he will give it to everybody who is doing such kind of penance, even to the asuras, to the demons. And there were quite a few demons who boasted their ego, who just underwent this long periods of penance to obtain power to conquer the world, of course. Then always battles arise between the gods and the asuras to create the equilibrium again. Such things, they exist, of course. We know it from history. All kind of asuras came to power in the history of the world. Yeah, mostly the power that people derive from such practice is also based on sexual aspects, retaining the sexual power, and then mostly the gods just send a beautiful Mohini to the earth, which can seduce such ascetic guys and take the power from them again. There are few stories of that this happened, which show that even in non-yogic stories coming from the Hindu mythology, this belief in the power of semen, of sperm, is very strong. We take the right foot one more time, pull it up, and now we try to slide the right hand around the back and hold the big toe of the right foot from the back, and then stand straight again. Very good exercise for balance, for the knees, the spine. Inhale one more time and do Mula Bandha. Yeah, Mohini, a word for this heavenly nymph, female being, which is absolutely beautiful, very sexy, and who is able to seduce any man easily. Yogis have to be careful of this. This is like all these Dakini stories, Dakinis, Mohinis, and so on, which are seducing the yogi and stealing the sperm from him. the yogini, she will support this ability to withdraw the sperm, and the mohini, she will suck it out. We do the same with the left leg, pull it up and try to reach. Put the right hand to the chest. And one more time, inhale and do Mula Bandha. Of course, do it carefully. It's strong on the knees. Nice camera. Yeah, Sam has a lot of things. He has a drone also, which can fly anywhere, and he is very good in manipulating it. He showed us in Spain on a seminar with the drone and then making films from above. We stand straight, the arms at the side, inhale very deeply, do Kumbhaka and move the head back as far as we can. And Achagari again. Push both knees forward and Achagari again. push the knees forward more and push your bottom down a little bit, but keep the trunk as upright as possible. We inhale again and push the head back. Then straighten the legs, inhale, and one more Achagari. Put the right foot forward and put the tip of the big toe and the other toes firmly on the ground. Both legs should be straight, the right leg completely stiff. Both legs support the body, of course, in this exercise, even though the right leg is a very fragile support. We inhale again, do Achagari. And Achagari again. Sweat, according to yoga, something very good. You should never immediately wash the body after yoga practice. It's said about 1 hour wait to keep the sweat, to let it dry again on the skin. It's full of cortisone, it's full of good things, prana and cortisone. You cannot find a better cream or oil than your own sweat, which you produce from yoga. We put the left foot straight forward, standing on the toes. Yeah, yoga also says that if sweat smells bad, by having an impact on the glands, you can change all such things and make the sweat get a nicer smell. Of course, body must be washed every day, otherwise it will start to smell, maybe even a yogi's body, except you are in samadhi and don't need to wash anymore, but then you are not alive anymore in the normal way. We Inhale again, do Achagari. I only saw one time when my guru had been staying in his room for almost 2 weeks. The curtains were always closed and nobody seemed to enter the room anymore. And then I had to bring down something when some people came, and they were somewhat taking care of him, and he looked like a big baby which was born maybe from water that they used or from his own sweat, I don't know, but like coming from somewhere else. When a yogi comes back after long meditation, of course it has to be done very slowly, step by step, not to hurt the body which has been stiff like a dead body for a long time. There are descriptions of this fakir who could be buried for long stretches, a month or longer. They buried him in the ground, and he came out alive. And they also, his servants, there were two, they used hot water and such things to start reanimating the body. The name of this one was Haridas, I think Haridas, famous fakir of end of 19th century. He died while showing his abilities once. When they dug him out from the ground, he was dead and they could not reanimate him anymore. We inhale very deeply and do Achagari. Inhale with Kaki Mudra and repeat Achagari one more time. Clench your fist with the thumbs inside and put both arms straight forward. We inhale very deeply, do kumbhaka, and push the fist up and back as strongly as possible. Then inhale again, do kumbhaka, and push both fists simultaneously down as much as you can. Keep the fist closed, thumbs inside, Sambodhini Mudra. Sam always means to collect something together, to keep it together. Sambodhini, to retain or to collect the power and keep it inside. Samyama, like collecting the concentration, threefold concentration in the state of samadhi, must be very powerful. So powerful that you can become what you concentrate on, and not only by visualizing something. I believe it, you will really become, if you concentrate on a stone, you will become the stone. Of course, as the universe is so big, you can concentrate on so many different things and spend years and years and years by doing samyama until you have experienced all. We inhale very deeply again, do Achakari. Now raise your arms, the elbows bent, the fist on the level of the upper part of the chest bone, elbows on shoulder level. This part here is called Kanta Kupa. Kanta is the throat and Kupa like the cavity of the throat, Halsgrube in German. It's a good word for this Kanta Kupa, very important space where you press the chin and activate Manovāha very strongly. We inhale very deeply again, do kumbhaka and press both fists down as much as we can. And again, inhale, kumbhaka, push the fist up. Very good for the wrist, of course, for the entire hands, for the back of the hands. We inhale again by nose to Achagari. Then inhale we do Chai and do Achagari again. Put both arms forward again, the fist still clenched. Inhale very deeply to Kumbhaka, push the left fist up and the right fist down as much as you can. Then inhale again and push right fist up, left fist down. Inhale with Shitali through the tube of the tongue and do Achagari again. In German there is this expression, auf Teufel komm raus. I don't know how you say this in English. It means to do something no matter what happens, devil, until the devil comes out. This, of course, also produced by yoga practice. If you just push and push and push, impurities inside of you will come up. And if you push too much, there will be a big demon coming out of yourself and eat you. So yoga wants you to practice carefully and only let out some steam enough to deal with it somehow. Process quite slow, but gradual. It works. I believe it's a constant letting off bad smelling steam from inside of you until the steam is pure. We inhale one more time with Chitali, do one more Achagari. Then put the hands forward again, the fingers straight. We inhale very deeply, do Kumbhaka, push both hands down as strongly as we can, then exhale, relax, inhale again and push them up. Now inhale with Sitkari through the teeth and do Achagari again. And one more time. Raise your arms again, the elbows bent, fingers straight. Inhale very deeply, do kumbhaka, push the left hand up and the right hand simultaneously down as much as you can. Then inhale again, push up on the right and down on the left. Yeah, time always seems slow during the seminar, especially in the first week, first day, second day. It seems like endless time ahead, but now we are already in the second week. Time is moving slowly but steadily. It's very strange. In the middle of this week already half of the seminar will be passed. Second half always much quicker than the first. Now I feel better than last week because my body is more adapted to the climate. Yeah, we modern people traveling by airplane all the time, we underestimate this change very much. It's quite heavy for the body, always these climatic changes. We inhale again by nose, do Achagari. Kaki Mudra and Achagari. I said in the first week that it can happen that by activating samana, one of these vayus, too much, it's a good vayu, it's called a pranadi vayu. There are 10 vayus inside the body. The highest is prana. They are divided in two groups. One is called nagadi, the other pranadi. Pranadi are those which work together with prana on a very positive side, and nagadi vayus are those who are or which are connected to apana and work sometimes in a very destructive way. Samana, one of the pranadi vayus, if it becomes too strong, it can activate a feeling of nausea, or how you say, like wanting to vomit. If this happens, you should not worry too much. You should just try to mix the vayus with more prana, then all such negative things will disappear. I mention this because when you, for instance, smoke ganja, when the flash becomes strong, many times with all different drugs, there is also this feeling of wanting to vomit because of the toxins. With alcohol, of course, very strong. With yoga, all such negative symptoms should not occur. If they occur, then you will remember it's samana, a little bit strong. Maybe in the next chakra it will already be good again. We inhale one more time with Kaki Mudra and do Achagari. To enhance stability, put the right hand in the hip, thumb in front, fingers in the back, and we do Hasta, Angushtasana again. Raise the right foot from the ground, right hand in the hip, right foot raised, and the left hand grabbing the big toe of the right foot, holding tightly on this marma, and then you put the right leg straight and stand straight. And on the other side, the same, left hand in the hip, left foot raised, right hand holding the big toe, and left leg straight. Try to stabilize you in this pose. It's a very good pose, even just standing like this. Of course, changing the side, then this will be like a training for the entire body. Gives, shape to the body. We stand straight, inhale very deeply, hold the breath and move the head back with open eyes. Then exhale and relax. Now put the right hand in the normal way, the fingers in front, the thumb in the back. Raise the right foot one more time, hold the big toe just like before, only with changed position of the hand, and put the right foot straight forward. Of course, this is also possible. The other way is more intense for wrist, elbow and shoulder. Very useful when you have a long walk to do, or when you are standing for a long time. Do this for a few seconds and can relieve the body from feeling of tiredness. We put the left hand, the left hip, raise the left foot, hold tightly with the right hand. This very safe way to do it, when you hold with the right hand on the left foot and not with the left. It's possible, of course, also to do it one-sided, but those people who always do it in this way, it can produce negative effect. See, almost everything that you see on pictures, what people can do with the body, you can also try. By learning more about the body, you start to see that many movements are not creating a good feeling, maybe obstructing the energy, and other positions create a good feeling. Inhale one more time very deeply, hold the breath and move the head back as much as you can. If reaction of you is very sensitive, if feeling is very strong, you easily can learn from this very easy exercise that it's a matter of speed, of course. If you do it very quickly and heavily, it will knock you down. If you do it slowly, then you start to get used to it, and you start to like it. It's strange that by working with prana, such light movements become so intense sometimes that even the most normal movement becomes like a yoga movement after some time. We now put the feet apart, about shoulder width. We inhale, do 5 times Bhastrika and Dachagari. Now turn the trunk to the left. We do exactly the same. Inhale 5 times Bastrika and Achagari. And turn forward again. Same, one more time, 5 times Bastrika and Achagari. Turn your trunk to the right. And the same, 5 times Bastrika and Achagari. Looking forward again, we do the same one more time, 5 times Bastrika and Achagari. Put your arms straight one more time. Push both knees forward, put the weight on the feet. Spread your fingers as much as you can. First, we only inhale, do kumbhaka, and spread the fingers with maximum effort. Of course, good for musicians, those who play the flute and so on. It's good for the fingers, the joints of the fingers, the nerves, the flexibility of the finger, so on. We keep the fingers spread and place them nicely together, like this. Inhale again, do 5 times Bhastrika and Dachagari. Put the arms straight forward again, spread the hands. Now push the spread hands up and then form the hood of a cobra with the fingers. Now using all our power, we inhale very deeply, we do kumbhaka and then tighten fingers from the fingertips, from the fingernails to the shoulders, tighten the arms as much as you can in the way which is described in the Hatha Pradipika. It's said to do such exercises until the sweat is pouring out from the fingernails. I didn't see any sweat. Some of these expressions in the scriptures I like very much. Very simple but very clear. Most of all I like this phrase where Svatmarama says that those people sitting in front of the people making a long story about Kundalini, Samadhi and all such things, that they are not more than babbling madmen, who don't know anything about yoga but blah 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 blah. There are many nowadays people who just talk. We inhale one more time, do 5 times Bhastrika and Dachagari. We raise the arms folded, the elbows up on shoulder level. You see the word Sukshma, for instance, it's now used by so many different people. This Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is teaching Sukshma, the Kriya Yoga is suddenly coming with Sukshma, and so on. The word has spread, of course, from Russia, I believe, from these seminars. And everybody start to use it, teaching things which maybe are different than what I have learned. We again spread the fingers, push the spread hands up, form the hood of the cobra again. You should feel that by doing this, it creates a very tight feeling between your shoulder blades. If you hold the hands in this position, you can create a cramp right between the shoulder blades along the spine. There, exactly on this spot, is one of these knots of the granthis, which has to be opened when the prana start to raise along the spine. It's called Vishnu Granthi. If you succeed in opening it, then the Anahata chakra will be activated and the yogi reaches the level of Gata Avastha, as it is called, the level of water pot, where he becomes empty inside and the energy will start to pour inside of him. You hold the fingers tightly like the hood of the cobra. We inhale very deeply to Kumbhaka and stiffen from the fingertips to the shoulders as much as we can. Then, before you do Shavasana, put the hands together in front of your chest. Sergei was in Tangsala, this one, Tangsala. It's from Horn, I think it's from Horn, yeah. It's from Mr. Ning.
No.
No? It looks like he had one. I will look at it after.
Okay.
Mr. Ning, famous seller of magic talismans. Thai magic, I like it. We inhale, do 9 times Bhastrika, 1 more Achagari, and after Shavasana. Yeah, I wish you a nice evening, and we'll see all or most of you tomorrow. Yeah, those who were here first time, or like Oksana, just arrived on the island, I think. No, 1 week ago. Wow. So you just you to relax, to get used. It's good. It's wise. Yeah, I could do that for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, there's nothing like getting used to life by relaxing.